So I would prefer talking about Ice Cube on defending working with the Trump campaign. I'd love to talk about that for the whole time that I'm on the show. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to act like I know something about polls, which I definitely don't, but let's give it a go. I actually want to play this first. Let's see what Ice Cube has got to say for himself, because he's working with Trump on a plan for Black Americans.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
Well, the Platinum Plan is not my plan. I came up with the Contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the Contract with Black America. One campaign said, "We love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election." And one campaign said, "We love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it?" And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody. And so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
Well, but you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the Contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm gonna speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
Red Eagle Politics. Debunking Dave Wasserman's pathetic poll analysis. Okay, so in basic what it boils down to is that we all know that the Democrats were pushing for early voting, mail ballots, all those kinds of things. So they've come in. People have voted. The problem is that Trump has told his people, come in and come and vote in the poll stations. And I think that is scaring the living crap out of everybody, because they have no idea how many people have already voted for Trump and what seismic catastrophe it's going to be on the final day of voting. Which I find kind of interesting, because it is really, really close in all of the key states. And not everybody tells him what the strategy is and whatever. And the thing is that things have changed so much. Okay, so these polls, I get it. It's got some sort of mathematical analysis. It takes some calls from some people, and that calculates something. The problem is it didn't work in 2016, and they're attempting the same thing again this year. They were wrong then. They're probably going to be wrong this time. Whether or not they say Donald Trump's going to win or Donald Trump's not going to win, but they could be very, very wrong. The model needs to be looked at. I think the access and the speed at which people have access to can swing things anyway. For instance, I don't like the way that Donald Trump handled the coronavirus thing. So that sort of, would have swayed me had I been an American voter. Not. I wouldn't vote for Biden. They say there are two types of voters. One who votes for Trump and one who votes against Trump. So Biden isn't anywhere in this, sort of realm of nominations, even though he thinks he is. Kamala Harris went down to the voting polls and sat there talking to people. You're not allowed to do that. That is illegal. Trump rallies. To be dead honest, there was a Trump rally in LA where around about 2,000 cars picked up. Donald Trump wasn't there. It wasn't something that he organized. And Biden had a rally as well, and basically only Trump supporters voted up in Pennsylvania. And so what's happening is Donald Trump isn't even pitching up for the rallies, and he's got more support than what Kamala Harris and Biden has when they actually organize a rally. So the weekend on Sunday there was a cancellation of any further rallies or something like that, and later on somebody came out from the Trump campaign to say that Biden isn't going to continue with any of that, any of these rallies further on until the nomination, which I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard it from two sources. It wasn't all videos, new videos. So, but I'm still not sure whether or not, because I'm getting conflicting information. But maybe Biden should just stay in the basement, because it seems he's got more people voting for him and cheering him on inside of the basement. So let's go and see, guys. I'm not good at this polling stuff. I'm going through it, but I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's read some stuff. Rasmussen report. Stock market telling us that Trump will win. Okay, there we go. Stock market, now this I understand. Stock market's doing well. Trump has got a very good chance of impressing a bunch of people, which will sway some of your middle class and upper middle class people who are benefiting from economic gains. A Biden family special prosecutor in 2021. Yeah, well, the Biden family has become the days of our lives of 2020. I mean, there's a lot of skeletons in that closet. I think that just taking the father, the daughter, and the son, and talking about them, leaving China and the Ukraine story alone. I mean, you can write a book just on the things that's been said about them. And then we say 38% say US heading in the right direction. 38%. That means that Donald Trump is doing the right thing. That's basically what they're saying. Most say Biden-Hunter business connection is likely. Are the polls trending for Trump? I'm not even going to read that. What they told us, reviewing last week's key polls. I actually want to look at this. Let's have a look at this one. What they told us, reviewing last week's. In surveys last week, this is what America told Rasmussen report. President Trump ended the poll week with a daily job approval of 51%. President Trump holds a 3-point lead over Democrat Joe Biden in Florida, a state that's critical to whether or not the president is re-elected. Now, this is not what you're hearing from the mainstream media. I mean, I'm hearing Biden is up by 9 points and all kinds of stuff, but then again, that is with the early voting stuff. So let's go back. North Carolina Senate, Tillis 45%, Cunningham 45%, Florida Trump 49, Biden 46. See, this is stuff you don't hear. Both candidates' risky strategy. "24% say past presidential debates have changed their vote." North Carolina, Trump 48, Biden 47. They're basically running it the same. Now what I'm thinking is that the pollsters are leaving themselves a gap of 2%, and because they know they could screw up again, like last time. But Rasmussen is sort of on the right track most of the time. So let's have a look at this. 279 Biden, Battleground Tracker, CBS News, our trusted word in news. Okay, so what I find interesting here is toss-up, it's 96, leaning towards 38, and 125. Then likely 212, and then leaning towards is 67. So why is Trump got that? I'm not sure. Ohio, toss-up, 50, 48. North Carolina, 47, 51. But it's a toss-up. 49, 49, 48, 50. I must say this is fairly accurate. 11 electoral votes, 46, 51. Yeah, so 16 electoral votes. This is quite nice. You guys can go and check this out. CBS News 2020 US election battleground tracker. That is quite interesting because I like the whole electoral college thing, because it doesn't leave it up to the popular vote necessarily. So, and in my view, the guy who promises the most stuff is usually your most popular person. So, and when you have somebody giving out stuff the whole time, that stuff and that money that buys that stuff comes from somewhere. I'm actually concerned about the fact that there's so many stupid Americans voting for Biden. Yeah, because it's very close to 50%, guys. So please don't get upset when I tell you that it seems like 50% of Americans look like they are idiots and stupid. Okay, and then I want to get to a little bit of piece that I want to read. Joe Biden is heading to Georgia on Tuesday, marking 1 week before Election Day, as some form of voting is already underway in all 50 states. Biden will speak in Warm Springs before heading to Atlanta for a driving rally, early in the evening. Let's hope somebody pitches up for that. Former President Barack Obama is also slated to appear in Orlando, Florida, to campaign for his former vice president. Okay, then you probably have a bunch of people there because they like Obama. And it's like the first black president. It makes him special. Don't know why, but anyway, president's a president. If that's the only thing and the only reason why they made him president is because he's black, I would, if I was him, I would sort of feel embarrassed. It's like when Hillary Clinton was going to be the first female president. Why can't she just be a president? Why does she have to be the first female president? Why is it such a big thing? Can't women become presidents? That's the sort of irritating factors that I have, because I'm a huge Tulsi Gabbard fan, and if it was a toss-up between Tulsi Gabbard and Donald Trump, I'd probably vote for Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know why she is in the Democratic Party, because she is hardcore middle line. I would say that she's a little bit more to the right on some of the topics, but I like her. So if it comes to Donald Trump and her, I would vote for her. Luckily, I'm not an American, so I don't get to vote. Well, if the Democrats win, then maybe I can vote. Who knows? Where was I? The Biden campaign. Monday announced Biden would be making a trip to Iowa. Friday, and his running mate Kamala Harris will be heading to Texas on Friday. Recent polls indicate both states, which were reliably red in 2016, are unexpectedly close. Meanwhile, President Trump is focusing on the Midwest with rallies in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nebraska on Tuesday before heading to Las Vegas for the night. The Trump campaign had initially pulled Wednesday as Mr. Trump's return to southern Nevada, but the Las Vegas Review-Journal reported his plans were stymied by local COVID-19 restrictions. Mr. Trump will instead hold a rally Wednesday over the border in Bullhead City, Arizona. A lot of people are going to go over there. Tuesday's events come after Amy Coney Barrett was sworn into the Supreme Court on Monday night, following the Senate's 52 to 48 votes to confirm her, with Senator Susan Collins being the only Republican to vote against her. That's not nice. Her addition to the Supreme Court solidifies the conservative majority of 63. At the same time, the Supreme Court ruled against reinstating an order by a Wisconsin federal court judge that said absentee ballots could be counted if received within 6 days after the election, as long as they were postmarked by the election day. The final vote was 5-3. And that's it. So, they tried everything they could, but they couldn't get there. So let's look at the polls and let's see what happens. I'm excited about this race, because what we're seeing and what the media is portraying is not the same thing. And I'm talking about Fox News as well, because they're just as bad as CNN and MSNBC at the moment. I'd rather watch CBS than what I'd watch Fox News currently. Watch Tucker Carlson, and that's about it. So, but let's track it, and hope to see you with an update tomorrow.